It's like people said, wow, Training Day, what a stretch. I'm like, you don't know me.
I had a chance to see The Equalizer, and it's a fabulous movie. Congratulations,
Thank you.
guys. It's really amazing. For everyone here who is undoubtedly going to see this movie, perhaps you can set us up a little bit, tell us a bit why the Equalizer. I mean, it was a famous TV show from the 80s. What attracted you guys to this material?
Is Todd here? I knew he was here. Todd Black and Jason. Todd came to me. Jason, you here? Yeah. The producers, they're always here. They came to me. Todd said, "Look, we bought the rights to The Equalizer, and we're working. We want to do this with you, and we're working on the script. And I'm not going to bother you until they have." They said they're not going to bother me until they have a script that they felt comfortable with. How long was it? A year between you telling me that and under a year? It came, yeah. Oh, Richard, you're here? Oh, the writer Richard. Where are you? Where are you, Rich? All right. Stand up. Round of applause. Great writer, Richard. And I read the script, cover to cover, fast. And I immediately called Todd. I don't know if it might have been a weekend. I don't know. Anyway, I said, I'm in. So then we went about the process, and we started talking about Antoine, and it was a no-brainer for me. And Antoine had so many great ideas already, and I said, he read it, and he said, I'm in, and here we are. Nothing happened in between. He just said, I'm in, and then we flew to Toronto. You want to answer the same question?
Oh, no, hey, that's it. That's what happened.
After working so closely together on Training Day, was it easy to return to the collaboration? Was it something you guys were looking to do, make another movie together?
Yeah, we've been looking.
Yeah, absolutely. We've been looking, just trying to find the right thing, timing, and I'm off doing something, and he's off doing other things as well, and life in general, and then this happened to be the right thing. I got the call, and here we are.
When we flew to Toronto.
Sitting here.
I'm also interested in how, in a larger sense.
I just had a mother flashback. My mother just said, sit up, boy. I did. You know how those things, I was sitting there like this, like, oh. My mother might be out there.
My mother is out there.
Your mother is out
nervous.
there.
Yeah.
Look,
Oh boy.
sitting up too now.
I don't want to.
Fix your jacket.
Is your mom really out there?
Yeah. She's
Where's mom?
there.
Stand up, mom. A real producer.
The thing is, she's not here to see me.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no.
I'm interested in a larger sense of how both of you got here. Do you remember the first movie you ever watched?
In the theater?
Yeah.
No. My father was a minister, so we weren't allowed to go to the movies. I used to hear about movies from my friends. We like King of Kings, anything religious we could go. King of Kings, Ten Commandments, Charlton Heston, that's it. That was it. No, seriously.
Moses.
So I couldn't wait to, when I got in my teenage years, it was like Shaft and Superfly, like I wanted to be Shaft. I never dreamed of being in the movie business or anything like that. Those were cool movies, and we wanted to be like those guys that get long leather coats and the chick with the big afro,
Get the feather
Yeah, the
down.
guy was kissing her
Cadillac.
hand, and I was like, I want to be him when I grow up.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I can't remember. It may have been one of those films. Those films didn't play as much in the theaters. I think it was maybe Public Enemy, the original Public Enemy. Yeah.
Wait a minute, Cagney?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean at
theater.
home?
No. They
Wasn't
had
that like the
theaters
30s or
in
something?
Pittsburgh. No. They played the movies in the theater.
Oh, okay.
Because most of the movies.
I was gonna say you look good, man.
You like it?
Oh, they would re-show them in the.
Yeah, they had the theaters in Pittsburgh where they would just show them at I think the Regal Theaters or something like that. and get money to go see, because other stuff you could see on TV, like I used to watch all the Westerns on TV, you know, late at night. So going to the movies wasn't a big deal really back then, unless it was Godzilla or something. You know what I mean? Back then, or King Kong.
King Kong.
Yeah. So I think the first one in the theater though was maybe Public Enemy.
Wow. At what point did you realize that's what you wanted to do? That acting, directing, and making movies was a career?
Never. I never thought about acting. I didn't know any actors. I didn't know anything about it. I was in college and playing basketball, and somebody said, "There's this Shakespeare class. The guy's real old. You can get a good grade real easy." I'm serious. So I took the class. The guy was real old, and he didn't know what we were doing. We were walking out during the class. He couldn't turn around that fast. He couldn't. It took him a while to turn around. You could just ease right out. And I got a B or something. I was like, cool. So, but I had actually, and I've told this story before. I worked at a YMCA camp, kids camp, and as a counselor, and the counselors did a little talent show for the kids. And somebody said, "Man, you know, you're like a real natural on stage. You ever thought about acting?" And I was flunking out of college at that time. I was. So I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I said, well, I'll go back the next semester. They were going to allow me back in. And I took that acting class. I said, maybe I'll, you know, the guy said, his guy's name was Miles Joyce. And he said, you know, you ever thought about acting? I was like, nah. So I went back to school and I said, well, I'll switch majors to theater. And just so happens, well, I did one musical. I found out I couldn't sing. One has to recognize one's limitations. And the next play, the artistic director wanted to do The Emperor Jones, Eugene O'Neill's The Emperor Jones. And I started reading and falling in love with Eugene O'Neill and with the pain that he went through writing these plays. I was getting into it. And we did The Emperor Jones. And so the first role I did in a drama was The Emperor Jones, and the second was Othello. I didn't know Shakespeare. So he put me with this woman who was a really great teacher, and she taught me how to talk and speak, and we did Othello, where everyone was older than Othello. He was like a Mike Tyson. Like, no, seriously, it's like he could fight,
Right.
but he wasn't crafty enough to
Right.
deal with the, you know,
Politics.
yeah, the politics and all that.
Right.
Did I answer your question?
Yeah. What about you, Antoine? When did you realize this was actually what you were going to do?
Well, directing, I didn't find out until I moved to New York, but ironically, it was similar because I went to West Virginia playing basketball, and I was studying electrical engineering. And you know, you got to keep your grades similar. You got to keep your grades up to be able to play. And a C would have been good. A B would have been better. You know, and the professor told me to take an art class. That's an easy A. And really, the truth is, it was all the pretty girls were in the art class. So I stayed. But then, and it goes back to the first film I was talking about. In the art class, we started studying Caravaggio, Baroque art. We were studying Caravaggio, we were studying de Kooning and Vermeer, Picasso, but then we started, they were showing us films on Japanese artists. And Kurosawa, his storyboards were considered, you know, like paintings, because he did all the storyboards of his work, Seven Samurai. And I saw that movie in the theater, because they would have these old movies they would play. And it just kind of blew my mind when I saw it as a frozen image and a storyboard, and I saw the moving picture in the film, and it was just something inside of me. It was just sort of, I couldn't really nail it, what it was. It was something interesting about it, because that movie had a profound effect on me. You know, growing up watching Bruce Lee and Enter the Dragon and all those movies, it was something about the samurai, you know, fighting for justice and all that stuff that I thought was interesting. So when I left school, I moved to New York. I just got a job as a PA. I didn't know what else I could do. My cousin, who's a doctor now, his boy who went to Penn, happened to get in the film business. And at that time, it was music videos. And I said, I want to, this film business, the idea of, I don't know what I want to be. He said, well, I got a partner who's doing music videos in New York. He has a little company, maybe you can go work for him. And he gave me a PA job. And I moved to New York, and I was a PA for years. And then I started producing music videos through his company. But I would write the concepts. We used to have to write treatments for the music. So I would write these ideas that other people were getting the jobs for. And then, and that's how I was paying my rent. I was living in Harlem, Mount Morris Park. And one day a director was kind enough, and I was working on a commercial, being naive. He was shooting a scene, and I was standing there, and I said, he was trying to get these birds to fly everywhere. It's kind of ridiculous because the birds would just go and leave, and then, you have to get more birds. It's kind of silly, And so, they had this huge net, and I was looking at a clock at the train station in New Jersey, just being naive, and I walked to the director. I said, "Why don't you shoot the reflection in the clock?" Because I saw it in the clock. It was all about time. It was for Christy Brinkley, CoverGirl or something. And he kind of looked at me and he was like, okay, and he kind of walked over and they started talking, and the producer came over and said, "Go outside and watch the trucks." It was below zero, New York, New Jersey. But the director was kind enough to, then later, he told me, because at that time they had 3/4-inch decks. When they got the dailies, he told me to bring it to the dailies, and he let me watch. He said, "You can sit down and watch." And he said, "Hey, you got a good eye," and he kind of gave me some encouragement. So a little while later, I wrote a short film called Exit, like a 5-minute film, and took my rent money, and I just kind of said, "We'll see what happens with it." And made this little movie, and it was too dark. Go figure. It was called Exit, and that kind of did it for me. That kind of sparked the idea of what a director. I didn't quite understand it really, but I did this little film, and it led to music videos, to propaganda films. Steve Golan saw it at propaganda films. David Fincher was there. Michael Bay was there. Spike Jonze was there, and they invited me in, and we started doing commercials and videos. So I was sort of learning my craft through that process, and that's when when somebody started paying me to direct, is when I said, it's a job I love, and somebody's gonna pay me to do it, absolutely. Then I just had to learn the craft. So it's a long way of saying it.
What's interesting, you mentioned.
Then we flew to Toronto.
Now we're here.
It's interesting you mentioned Seven Samurai and Samurai, because The Equalizer, Robert McCall could be a modern day samurai or a Ronin, the samurai who's been sort of cast out or retired or moved away.
Well, he is a Ronin. That's the idea. He is a Ronin. He worked for a special organization, and they did things that most people don't do or can't do, don't have the skills to do. And then when that organization, or when you leave the organization, or when the organization dissolves, what happens to these guys? What did they do with those skills? And what are they living with? And they have to fit back into society. So, yeah.
Both Training Day and this film have, as you sort of joked, there's darkness there in the characters and in the story. How do you enter that sort of story, that sort of milieu, into that dark place as both a storyteller and an actor? How do you get to that point where you can relate to the characters and the situations and make it all so real? Because the movie has a real sense of realism to it.
Antoine, the original script was more like of Training Day. Was more like Lethal Weapon. The character was wore plaid shirts and had a lot of empty beer cans in the trunk. But when Antoine got involved, he brought the whole gangster element to it, and working with the real Crips and Bloods, and we worked with some cops who were gangsters, and they made me understand that you have to be a gangster to deal with gangsters. So I would just pick things from some of the things the cops told me. I said, well, how do you stay alive in this element? He said, informants. I said, what do you mean? He said, they never knew who was telling on each other. So that's the line I used that the cop told me, Paul told me. Yeah. I walked into a group of gangsters, I said, you better call me. Right. And I kept going. Now they're all looking at it, what do you mean call him? Like, you know him? Now you set that doubt. And then a guy named Bone, who was the head of the Athens Park Bloods, he gave me a lot of ideas. He's like, oh, you talking about shoe program? I said, the shoe program? I'm thinking shoe. He said, no, special housing unit. we're 23-hour lockdown.
Pelican Bay.
So I started the speech I do toward the end of the film where I ad-lib King Kong, ain't got nothing on me. But I said to Antoine, I said, man, shoot. If you can, shoot everybody else first. Because I'm working out what I'm going to say. You know, like shoe program. You know, like, well, there was in another scene that I give Ethan Hawke the PCP, and I'm like, well, what else y'all call it? They say, oh, butt naked. I said, you call it butt naked? He said, yeah, because that's what you do when you smoke.
Right.
You get butt naked. Yeah. So I started I would throw in butt naked. Oh, you're going to get wet. They call it getting wet, butt naked. You know, and that's, dude, like I said in the other speech, shoe program, 23 hours lockdown, and just kept building like that.
Yeah.
Has the process, that research process that goes into finding the character, finding the story, how has that evolved for both of you over your careers?
I was saying earlier, I was reawakened by Viola Davis. We were doing Fences, and we won all the Tony Awards for it as well. We were doing Fences. You don't have to clap. Y'all didn't even see it. Don't even clap. But about the third week of rehearsal, like I had the main part, so I had a lot of lines. And the other people around me had smaller parts, but they got time to work on their stuff, because one would come in and wear me out because they've been working on it. They'd leave and the other person would come in, and I'm still on the book. So one day Viola came in and blew everybody's socks off. I was like, uh-oh, I gotta dig deeper. So it reminded me of the way I used to work in the theater. Because you can get lazy, you know? And I was like, okay, I gotta dig deeper. And it kind of, because I was kind of ready to stop acting, really, especially start making movies. That's why, one of the reasons I went and did a play. But it was like, okay, no, I gotta dig deeper. I gotta get back to the basics, you know?
You both started in a slightly different medium, stage for you and music videos. How did that experience inform your movie careers?
Acting's acting. You know, some people talk about, oh, film acting's different. I'm like, no, it isn't. The truth is the truth. The universal stems from the specific. So you gotta be detailed. You gotta do detailed things that will have an effect. I don't know what film acting is. You know, if I'm too big, they'll tell me. I'll be smaller, you know, whatever, you know. My first love is theater, not film. You know, I just got in a film career. I wasn't planning on it. I figured I'd, you know, make $650 a week on Broadway. That was my goal. I wanted to be James Earl Jones.
Do the music videos, did they inform how you would go on to make movies?
Yeah, they did. It's like music videos are interesting for me because technically it's like you start to understand the camera and the lenses, and you start to develop a relationship with them. And we were talking about this earlier. Your camera becomes another cast member, and in music videos you learn how to use them and learn how to stimulate people and what the power of a shot can mean and a frame, and how quickly people can observe something. Like in commercials, I did a lot of commercials, you know, you have seconds for people to observe an image and absorb it and understand it. And it informs you, you know, a certain amount of trust for the audience. And then also what happens is when you get into the movies, the bad lesson is when not to get in the way, because you can easily get too excited about all the technology and all the toys, and you get in the way. And so you learn to take the camera and use it as another cast member to help tell the story and not get in the way. So music videos is a great tool to learn.
How many you think you made music videos?
Wow, a lot.
Like 100?
No, maybe 70.
70?
Wow. I did a lot. I was doing Prince and everybody. And then also.
He just name dropping.
I'm saying, like, back then. Well, back then.
Michael Call.
Hold on. Now, anybody here, Mr. Lee? Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Mr. Lee. So there's videos like that too.
Oh, you mean a singer named?
Yeah, there was some guys that were in the rap game that came and went in like a day or two, So, but it was paying the bills and it was so fast. And then I was doing a lot of commercials and stuff too. So, it was just like the good thing about music videos is that literally at that time, I was doing 2 or 3 jobs a week. So I was literally had a camera in my hand every day. And then sometimes you shoot on the weekend because, it was exciting. And technology was changing because it was still film. And digital was just starting to creep around, but it was early cameras. It was even
For a year, about what year is that?
This was in the 90s. This was like in the 90s when the red camera started to come around, and the digital cameras were coming around. They're like, when did they release Dangerous Minds? Coolio's Dangerous Minds. Yeah. That thing. That was one. Was that? Yeah, 95. Yeah. So that was kind of one of my last videos. I kind of didn't want to do them for a while because I wanted to do Madonna and Sting because they had the bigger budgets. You know what I mean? Al B. Sure didn't get that much money. So I was like, I need the bigger budgets, man. They have more fun, Yeah. So I had to do more videos. So
It's a shame, I'll be sure.
I'll be sure.
Hey.
Right? Isn't that I'll be sure? From Mount Vernon. He's from my hometown. Yeah, he's from the Vernon.
Yeah. So there it is.
How did you two meet?
Denzel's wife, Pauletta. Pauletta knows my wife. And they met in church. And then I met Denzel in church a couple times, briefly. And training day script had come around. And Ed Lamato, Denzel's
agent.
His agent, Ed Lamato, saw The Replacement Killers. And Pauletta set up a meeting for Denzel to go to Ed's house to see this film, of this new guy. And so it was his wife, and Denzel saw them.
So I had to do it. And then we came to Toronto. No, we sat in my agent's house and watched the film, and I was like, man, this guy's style was crazy. And that was it. I was like, okay, I know who's making Training Day. It was.
Yeah, that's kind of how that happened. So be nice to your wives.
Yeah, real producers.
Hook you up, man. Yeah.
How did the making a film already together, did that make it easier, like the communication between your two as a collaboration?
Yeah. I trust him. I know he knows what he's doing. And life has taught me, I've been on films where the third day I'm going, man, how many more days? It's too, not difficult, but you want to be in there with somebody you trust, and obviously he knows what he's doing. So I could just concentrate on what I was doing, and coming back together, 12 years, it doesn't seem like it was 12, it's been 12 years, with schedules and things, whatever, not finding the right material, but I just know I don't have to worry about the director. I just got to be ready,
What happens when you're on a set and it's the third day and you're asking how much longer does this have to go?
I make sure that doesn't happen anymore. Like I always say, the time I worry about flying is when you're on the ground. So if you don't like the pilot, don't go. And I don't go. If I don't, Nah.
Because it is trust between the two of you.
Yeah, it is.
It makes your life easier. It's so much work anyway. For me, the preparation's all night, and then the months ahead, and then when someone like Denzel puts his trust in you. I remember on Training Day, by the way, I was scared to death, to be honest with you. Denzel Washington, Training Day, we sat and met a few times, but the first day of shooting, that's very intimidating, of course. And You know, like normally, some actors do it, some people don't. I said, you want to come over to the monitor and take a look at the last shot, see? He said, no, you the pilot. I'll be in my trailer. You be calling ready. Walked away. And you know, so you can imagine, I'm kind of standing there like, oh, I can't screw this up. Because he's trusting me. But, you know, that sort of thing, it makes your life easier. And you know you got to be on your game because someone's trusting you, especially on his level. You know, you really, and you should be on every film, but it makes you raise your game. You know, you're playing with the best. You better come ready. That's it.
Has it gotten easier for you to make the movies you want over the course of your careers?
Amy Pascal Amy's not here, is she? Amy Pascal is the head of Sony. And she is the head of Sony, right? Why did somebody laugh? She said they did it, what was the question?
Is it easier now to make the movies you want to make, to tell the stories?
Yeah, Amy
you want
Pascal was the head of is the head of Sony, I should say is the head of Sony. And she said that they tested, or maybe Todd told me, I don't know. They tested the Equalizer, and it was the highest, it scored the highest
R-rated.
for R-rated film in the history of Sony.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, and I'm saying this, make a long story long, I'm saying this because Antoine had just come off a commercial success with Olympus Has Fallen. Now he delivers The Equalizer, which is the highest rated testing film in the history of Sony, R-rated film. She said in the history it was second. I said, well, what was first? What was first? Todd? Hitch was first?
Yeah, Hitch was an R.
I thought it was Titanic or something.
Yeah, Hitch wasn't an R.
No, that wasn't R-rated. Make a long story long. What was the question again? Can you do anything you want? Now I said, and I box. I've been boxing for 20 years, and Antoine comes to the same gym, and I said to Antoine after all the hoopla, I said, I get everybody in town's your friend now, huh? He's like, yeah, they all call it. You know, it's the nature of the business.
Yes.
Oh, we hate him. He's what? Oh, we always loved you. We always loved you, Antoine. So I'm saying that to say that he then had his choice. He now has his choice of what he wants to do as a result of the work he did in Equalizer.
Did the first Oscar nomination do that for you, or the first Oscar win?
Yeah, the win did. Yeah, the win did. I don't know that the nomination did. Sidney Poitier told me, I don't know how many years ago, there was a movie I didn't want to make, and I felt sick about it. I didn't want to do it, but they were offering me a lot of money. And I called him. And he didn't tell me what to do, but he said to me that the first 3 or 4 films you make will determine how you're perceived in this business. So the fact that you don't want to do it maybe is informing you as to what you should do. As it turns out, the next film, I turned that movie down. The next film I got was Cry Freedom with my boy, the late Richard Attenborough. You know, so the 3 out of the first 4 films I did were with Attenborough, Norman Jewison from Toronto, and that's right,
Sidney Lumet.
and Sidney Lumet. That's
pretty good.
That's pretty good. And had I done the other one, I wouldn't be in Toronto. The other movie, I don't know what I've been doing. They never made it. A sitcom. Did somebody say a sitcom? Oh.
Are there stories you still want to tell? I would assume so.
You know, I'm really old and slow about that. I don't have any bank of stories I want to do. I like for a while I had a company and, we're going to produce it, and people start, well, I wrote this for you. I'm like, I don't want that. You know, first of all, you don't know me. Yeah, it's like people say, wow, Training Day, what a stretch. I'm like, you don't know me. Yeah, you don't know me.
Really?
That wasn't a stretch. No. I had you fooled with all the other stuff. That's what it was. That was acting. So, it's a true story. That's real talk. I like what happened with Equalizer. You open, I guess there's filmmakers or people in the business. Sometimes you pick up a script and you're like, all right, and the phone rings, and all right, it takes you a day to read a script. That ain't the one. For me.
Yeah.
When I read Equalizer, I was like, wow, okay. Like I said, as soon as I finished, I read straight through, quick read, good read, folded it up, closed it up, and called Todd, said I'm in. So I like that. I don't want something developed. Even though it was developed for me, he was smart enough to not talk to me about it. Because I don't want to know, and don't make it for me. Just write the material, and that's it,
Antoine, do you have how far out are you scheduled at this point?
Well, there's a lot of things I like to make. Obviously, director, there's stories I want to tell. There's only so many because it takes so long to make one movie. What we're working on next is Magnificent Seven, the Western, Denzel. So, come full circle, Seven Samurai.
Yeah.
So that's it. So
I got a feeling you're gonna do a good job.
that's the baby right there. So that's my inspiration for wanting to be a director.
Wow.
And have either of you worked with horses?
I have.
That's a good question. Actually, I'm traveling the world promoting this film. As soon as I finish, I start riding. And so I start October 1st or whatever, it's September 29th, Monday the 29th. I start riding, I think it's the 29th. And, but I have 5 months. So I'm gonna get with the top horse guy. To answer your question, I wrote in Much Ado About Nothing, I wrote horses. And I actually went to military academy where they had riding. I did some riding there, but I haven't ridden in a while. But I'll have 5 months under my belt before we gun spinning.
Yeah.
That's the bad version. That's what I want to get away from. I don't want to be that guy. But I've been watching, and Antoine, what a great director does. He starts sending me DVDs. What's the first one he sent me? Seven Samurai, High Plains Drifter, Pale Rider.
Pale Rider. Once Upon a Time in the West.
Yeah, Once Upon a Good, Bad, and the Ugly.
Bad and the Ugly.
What is it? Something Fistful of Dollars.
Fistful of
And then
Dollars.
there was another one in that thing. You see, More Dollars or something?
Fistful of Dollars More.
A few
Is
dollars
that
more.
the name of it?
A few dollars more.
A few dollars more. Yeah, I haven't looked at that one yet.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But,
Outlaw Josie Wells, all that.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Outlaw Josie Wells.
I worked with horses on King Arthur, man, and they are, they're you need some time. To learn how to. But we're talking about some big, beautiful horses. They're gorgeous creatures. You know what I mean? And so, and I like when you talk about the Seven Samurai, talk about horses. You watch that movie, how the horses are handled. Just every detail of that movie, how they stomp, and they're war horses.
In the Seven Samurai?
Yeah, and they never sit still in the frame. They're always moving. It adds an energy to it.
Because you can always tell that fake shot when they're on the guy or the woman and they're not on the horse.
Yeah.
You cut wide, the horse is all over the place. Then you cut tight and they're like,
Talking normal.
yeah, right, talking normal.
You can't talk normal on no horse.
No.
Because they're moving and they do what they want to do. They're some big beasts, powerful. So yeah, I'm excited.
And of course, in The Equalizer, you do all your own stunts. You're in all the,
pretty much, yeah.
all the fight scenes. That was really important, I know, for you, Antoine, to make sure that. So, how much physical preparation do you have to do for these movies?
Like I said, I've been boxing 20 years. So I don't get punched in the head. It's just training. But I've been fighting, and I know how to fight, and I know what kind of relaxation it takes, actually, and how to breathe and move through. And I've done movies like Book of Eli, where I worked with one of the great masters, Danny Inosanto. Danny Inosanto is I don't know if people know who he is, but he was a contemporary of Bruce Lee. They came up together, and this man's in his 70s, and you don't want to mess with him. The nicest man in the world, but a straight killer. Straight killer, no question. So I didn't come to Book of Eli or The Equalizer without knowledge of fighting and relaxation and all of that, you know. And as long as I'm not jumping off of buildings, you know, we're not doing all that kind of stuff.
And it's very real, the fights in
Yeah.
the Equalizer. It's less martial arts and more raw sort of.
Antoine can tell you about, you know, you tell him about what, you know, just what you were trying to accomplish, like all these tight shots of the eyes and all that.
You know, it's interesting. It's interesting. We've been talking about this. It's looking at fighting from a more internal perspective as a director, as opposed to external. Like an external, you know, you can capture the violence, but internally, what does it feel like? You know, which is different, right? Everything slows down. Everything is hyper reality. Everything becomes a bit more focused. Like I talked to doctors and people like that. Talked to some of our stunt guys and other people, our friends who we know who do these things for a living, unfortunately, for the government or whoever. You know, how the heart rate goes down and the pupil opens a little bit more for a little more light because everything becomes a little more focused. Most of us, if we get into a car accident or any sort of violence, you panic and you jump and you scream. Well, these guys are trained every day of their lives to do the complete opposite of what we do. And so the idea was to try to film it where you can see it, where you really understand it. You see the violence, in the frame, so that the frame doesn't become like this, where you don't know what happened and you miss all the drama. I wanted to take our time and really, he's a great actor, so to film fighting without you understanding and seeing him, still being the character within the fighting, and you're up close. So I took my time with that, and we edited it that way, and we shot it that way. You experience it that way.
Now you've also had the opportunity to produce and direct movies.
No, he's a director. I just made a couple of movies.
No.
Is there when you're on set, that those instincts don't ever kick in?
A little bit. I mean, you just doing enough movies, you begin to understand the process. If anything, I have a great respect for what they do. I know how difficult it is. So I want to be on time. I want to be ready. I get it. I have been that guy. Like, where is he? Yeah. He's in the trailer. Well, tell him to come on. What is he doing in there?
Doing this.
And I've been that guy sometime, but I try not to be that guy now because I understand how he wants to get all the shots, and I want him to get them all. Yeah. But I never second guess Antoine. Maybe once or twice. Not second guess. Nah, I didn't come in the. I never came in the editing room.
No,
I never saw it ever.
No, it's an amazing collaboration. The great thing about an actor like Denzel that also directs is he does understand, and so sometimes when you're talking about ideas, they're coming from a grounded, organic place that you can actually do, and he'll talk to you about something that is possible, as opposed to sometimes if you don't understand it, you may have an idea, which has happened. It's a good idea, but it's just not possible on a schedule or time or within the format that we're filming it in. And so that's difficult, for an actor to have a great idea, but you can't achieve it for them because it's just not possible in your format or your half an hour you got left to shoot and the sun's going down. Where Denzel will have an idea that's right there in the moment and focused and doable, and it fits the story. So it's great for me. It's like having two hits, somebody that understands it. It makes my life easier.
You mentioned truth earlier, and truth is such an element in all of your work, that strive for real and true. Why is that so important for you as artists to find that truth?
I don't know. That's the way I was taught. That's the way I've been trained. I want to be honest. My son now he was a professional football player, and I always knew he was a good actor. The first thing he auditions for, he gets the second, third lead in an HBO series coming out this fall. No. But I talked to him about that. You know, for example, I talk to him about not figuring out what you're going to do because you don't know what the other person is going to do. You know, Stanislavski's talked about doing all your research, doing all your preparation, then cutting 90%. Be honest. Don't, I got something. You know, no, you don't. If you think that, you're already fake. You know, if someone says, well, you know, how'd you feel about that take? I don't know, what'd you see? You know, I don't want to say, oh yeah, because I knew, you know, it was going to be here and I wanted to be like that, you know. One of the best acting lessons I learned in the street before acting, but in acting, the guy says, okay, there's a scene where his line is, I'm going to kill you. And I'm the other person. Now, I can't go home and figure out what I'm going to do because he might go, hey, I'm going to kill you. You know. Or he might go, you know, I'm going to kill you. So I can't now go, well, wait a minute, I prepared for you the yelling at me. He said, I'm not, you know. Yeah. So you got to be honest. You got to breathe and relax. It's like jazz, you know. You're the next solo after the bass player. And you don't know how he's going to play that night, you know, or maybe there's less notes, or, you know. So I'm always like, I just tap myself and breathe, and I don't want to do anything. I just want to be honest.
So how do you as a director, Antoine, how do you live in that same moment as Denzel does as an actor?
Well, you got to be, again, you know, as a director, you got to be a cast member in some way. You got to be in the moment. If you're not in the moment, you miss everything. And as a director, you got to capture it. You know, so much happens in the moment, and if you're not there with them and being honest with them, there's no way you'll ever get it on camera. You'll never get it on film, because it doesn't always. Because unlike theater happens right in front of you. Film, it happens right there, and then when you say cut, you got to get it from another angle. And so you have to stay in the same zone and capture that from another angle. And how do you do that if you weren't even true in this angle? You don't know where you're going over here, right? So everything about that informs you how you move your camera, what lens you use, everything. You know, so yeah.
So I get the sense that you're both open to improvisation and being very free in terms of the scene and finding the truth in each moment.
That's a Shakespeare. You can't ad-lib. But yeah, I think I ad-libbed more in Training Day than in this film. Because Training Day, Alonzo was a talker, you know, so he just liked listening to himself. He was tripping, you know. Much like myself. I just cracked myself up. Like we did a scene in Training Day where I started laughing, and in the middle of the laughing, I did an Indian sound. I go, ha 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 ha. And it was tripping me out. I was like, who is this? Yeah, I was just going nuts because it was the first time playing a quote unquote bad guy. The bad guy has all the fun because you could get away with doing anything. One thing I made sure we changed right from the start. I said, this guy doesn't die in the worst way. No, it was written that he lived. He lived. I said, no, I can't do the part like that. The only way I can justify living in the worst way is if he dies in the worst way.
Right.
You know, it wasn't an accident that I wanted to, when Ethan grabs me and punches me in the face and I crawl on the floor like a snake and the whole neighborhood turns against him and then he gets his brains blown out. I wanted all of that. Then I could be the nastiest guy in the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that movie
women love that. See? It's a strange thing. That nasty, it's a strange thing. It really is. And then some woman was, well, because I can change him. Why would you pick him? Well, so he killed a couple of people. He's not that bad. I like a strong man. Now, he was just foul. He was foul, and I love that.
He was fine.
Are you nervous about your son going into the same
No,
profession?
because he's good. When I did Glory, he wanted me to get him a tape of Glory. Then he wanted me to get him a uniform. Then he wanted me to get him a wooden rifle. And I wish I had videotaped him at that age. He would stand in front of that TV. He learned all the parts. He'd play me, then he'd stand over here and play Morgan, then he'd go back and play me, and he'd play Matthew Broderick, and he'd play me. And he would entertain himself for hours in the little TV room just watching that movie, and he knew all the lines. And he's great with accents, and he left me a message. He started off American, he became British, then he was Jamaican, he went back to me. Yeah. So he has that gift. He actually said the reason he played football, he found it was something he was good at, and it wasn't what his dad was doing. He thought my shadow was too big. He said, yeah, but Dad, you're just your shadow's too big. I said, you ever heard of Kirk Douglas? He was like, no. I said, you heard of Michael Douglas though, right? He said, yeah, of course. I said, all right, Google Kirk Douglas and come back and talk to me about how big my shadow is. So he's gotten over that and from underneath that. But, I made sure he understands and he gets it. He's applied the discipline he developed as a football player, pro football player, and he's applying that to acting. I said, now you got to go to school. You got the part. They shot the pilot, I think, and then he had 9 months off, 10 months off. So he came to New York and started studying at HB Studios. He did The Dutchman, a one-act play, then he did Othello. So he's getting, your natural ability only take you so far. So he's getting the foundation, the fundamentals. Proud of him. I don't sound too proud of him. Papa. Yeah. HBO in the spring.
Would you ever work with him?
Absolutely. I guess that's a question for him. Absolutely. But you give him his time and space and doing his own thing.
Have you given him any advice or Antoine?
Me?
Yeah?
I tried to hire him.
He turned him down.
Turned me down.
I think I told him that story.
Turned me down. There was a part, and I just finished the film Southpaw with Jake Gyllenhaal, and he came in. He read. He was great, but he was great. He read for another part, and I offered him a different part, but he was specific about the part he wanted, and he turned me down. I was like, man, I remember you was little.
And he didn't tell me that.
What? And then but also he had a conflict with the HBO show as well. But yeah, he was really clear about which role he wanted. And he was great when he came in for the audition. He was really strong, but had already cast that role. And then when he came in, he read, I thought, no, I'm offering this other part.
So that was last year?
Yeah.
So that was before he even went to start studying? Yeah.
He was studying at the time.
Oh, he was?
He was just studying, I think.
Okay.
I think he was. He's in New York?
Yeah, New York. Yeah. He read New York?
He read New
Yeah,
York.
okay.
Yeah, he turned me down. I couldn't believe it. Man. I was like, I'm going to call your dad.
His dad didn't turn you down, man. His dad didn't turn you down. And look,
man.
don't hire him. You hire me.
It's like, what? Yeah. Yeah. He's talented.
I want to open it up to the audience to ask questions. We have some mics on either side of the room, so why don't you hold up your hands and we'll get a mic to you. Over here.
Oh, see what y'all really look like now. I can see people
hiding in the dark.
I'm joking. I got jokes. I'm a closet comedian.
Hey, Mr. Washington.
Where are you?
Over here.
Right there.
Oh, yeah, stand up.
Big fan. My mom loves you.
From what?
I love you.
His mom loves him.
Oh, but your mom.
So I read an article in your issue of GQ where you said that when you first started doing acting, that there wasn't many black actors out there. And as a Hispanic actor,
There weren't any black actors out there that were getting hired.
Yeah.
There were black actors out there.
Yeah. And as a Hispanic actor coming into the industry, I was just wondering, because there's no really like lead roles for Hispanic actors, I wonder how you kind of overcame that barrier and got all the roles you did.
Well, Like I tell my kids, don't compromise. And like I tell John David, you got to be able to do training day for lunch and Julius Caesar for dinner. So you got to be twice, 3 times, 5 times more prepared. So get your Julius Caesar on, get your Shakespeare on, get on the stage. You do theater?
Right now I'm paying for more film, TV, but I'll do theater.
Okay, let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Put the rest of it down and only do theater first. That's where you learn how to act. Directing, film is a director's medium. It's not an actor's medium. You can be doing what you think is your best speech of your life, and the director could be pushing in on a bottle, and or a clock, catching you in the reflection of a clock. Yeah. You learn how to act. When the curtain goes up, it's you and the people. That's where you learn how to act, on stage, not in the movies. So do that.
All right, thank you.
I sound like a dad there a little bit. Yes.
Oh, we got a mic over there.
That's somebody.
Yeah.
Hi, Mr. Washington. I'm here with my friend Sabrin, and we're both
What about Mr. Fuqua?
Hello, Mr. Fuqua.
I'm good.
I'm very shy. Through theater school, it was pretty awkward, and I kept your speech, your Oscar speech, and I used it each day to get through theater school. So
Cool.
you're very special to me. I'm here with my friend Sabrin, and we are both we come from Stratford, which was the
cool.
Shakespearean theater
Sure,
there.
sure.
And you worked with Colin Fiore on Julius Caesar, which I wish I saw. But I have a 2-part question. Is there anything else in the canon that you would like to perform? And do you ever, we're both also part of the CFC Film Conservatory program. And it's because I'm doing it because I'm having a hard time playing in that new space, the camera. If there's anything that you can
Forget
tell me.
about playing in that new space.
Okay.
Be honest. The film, they'll get you. You know, don't worry about, I have to be big for theater. I have to, because I've done so much film for so many years, I had to make an adjustment especially going back to Broadway, because it's a bigger house and all of that. But I don't worry about, I don't act any different on film. There's no film style to me. Some people tell you that, but I'm here to, I'm worked out all right for me.
Yeah.
So I'm here to tell you, don't worry about it.
Yeah, the problem I have now is that, I'll
First
act.
of all, don't say the problem I have now,
Oh.
right? You're
Yeah.
already starting in a negative space. What do you mean the
Right.
problem you have?
Right.
Young men and women fighting in Iraq have problems, not acting. We don't have
True.
problems.
That's true.
But
I act away from the camera. I'll get into the scene and the camera will be here and I'll turn completely.
first movie I
Away
did,
from it.
television movie called Wilma, is a 2-character scene. I was telling this story the other day. And I'm talking to the girl and the camera starts moving in, they're pushing in. And during the shot, I'm going, and they cut, and they said, Denzel, you have to sit, you're talking to the girl. I said, what? Well, you're moving. Oh, take 2. So I wasn't used to this boom and all these 5 people coming toward me. So that's just experience. It happened to me. So don't worry about it, and don't worry about it, and don't worry about it, and don't think about that. If you know what you're doing, you're not doing anything. Stick with what your job is as the actor, and what your intention is, and all that, and just be honest, and don't think I have to do. That's outside of yourself. I don't know what I've done half the time. And I'm cool with that because I trust the director. If I know too much, then I'm not in it. I'm watching myself. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's from the inside out. Whatever technique you have, less is more.
Cool. And anything else out of Shakespeare that you'd want to do?
I'm heading into those Lear years. Getting some Lear, maybe touch some Lear.
Awesome.
I've been blessed to, 2 of the greatest African American playwrights, August Wilson and Lorraine Hansberry, I touched them both up in the last, 3 of the greatest playwrights. Shakespeare, I did on Broadway in 2005, Brutus, 2010, August Wilson, and I just finished Lorraine. So, more theater, keep growing, keep trying to get better. Don't worry about that technical stuff. There's no, I don't know what acting for film class is. I never used it. I never did it. I don't need it. Those who can do, those who can't teach.
Thank you.
Not knocking teachers, but Bruce Lee said, take what's useful.
In the
from
hat?
the teachers and anybody else. Take what's good for you and create your own style.
Thanks. How you doing,
Knocked all the
Denzel?
teachers, right?
Nah, it's real.
How you doing, Denzel?
Stand up. You see what I mean? Now, had that been a play, is it any different if it had been film? Did he suddenly, I can't pull the shirt too much because it's film and it's a small. Just do what you do. Someone says you need to be smaller. Well, in the position I'm in, I say you need to move the camera back.
So how you doing, Denzel, Mr. Fuqua? It's good to see a black film director, as an inspiration for, all of us out there.
You looking to make films?
No, I'm just off for it.
Oh, you just came in off the corner. I was just walking by, I saw people lined up.
Just a fan, But a couple quick questions I always wanted to know. First one is, will we get a He Got Game sequel? Number 2, were you blind in the Book of Eli? And 3, personal question, will the Knicks be making the playoffs this upcoming season?
And the answer to all 3 is you never know. That's the answer. Making a sequel, you never know. Was I blind? You never know.
Way in the back there. We get a mic up way in the back.
You're just gonna have to bogart a mic, man. You're just gonna have to.
We'll bring it up.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Speak up.
I can project.
There you go. Come on.
So first of all, good evening and thank you to all 3 of you. My name is Zuri Adele, and actually, Mr. Washington, we met maybe a year ago at Understudy Pauletta in 2 days running.
Oh, get out of here. In Atlanta?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But my question to the 2 of you actually is not so much about the performance, but when you were speaking about boxing and still having that intensity, but that internal relaxation and that breathing, what is it that keeps you both so grounded in the midst of all the chaos in your art and in your life? What is it that keeps you breathing and naturally staying within yourself rather than looking outside and looking at what you're doing?
The work. I mean, I'm fortunate to come up as an actor the right way in the theater. We were a bit snobbish and we weren't thinking about going to Hollywood or any of that stuff. And, as I said earlier, Viola reminded me of what the work is really about. And, I'm not a celebrity. That's something someone calls you. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. It's nice. I guess you get a reservation at a restaurant or something. But it ain't gonna help you up there on the stage. That's for sure. So I don't live in that world. I don't live in that world. I just trying to improve as an actor. My job. Yes, sir. Speak
Right,
up.
let's go.
Yes, sir. He's been trying for like 20 minutes. Oh, I'm sorry. Sit down.
I'll be brief. I'll make it quick for you. No, it's the work. It's the same. You just focus on the work. And there's rubber balls and there's glass balls. You know what I mean? So you got to know which ones are rubber and which ones are glass. Once you figure that out, you stay focused on the task at hand, you'll be all right, you know? But if everything's a glass ball, you're going to be freaked out, right? You understand?
Why did you ask that question? Uh-oh.
I'm just in a chapter where I'm
Yeah?
looking for really trying to you can balance and focus. Well, right now I'm a graduate student pursuing my MFA and so just stepping back into that chapter and then that moving forward so exciting and balancing that and then seeing things.
Mm-hmm.
So I was wondering how you do that.
Well, crisis creates character, you know, so there's no testimony without a test. And if if your faith is being tested, pray harder. And it's about the work, so stick with that. You know, you have the ability, you know, and you obviously have the passion. So, you know, stick with it, keep working. And celebrity has nothing to do with it. So don't ever try to become famous. Just try to be the best you can be, human being, and professionally as an actor. You know, one step at a time. That's all any of us can do. That's all I can do. But the rest of it is out of our control. So, you know, I feel you though. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. First of all, Denzel and Antoine, thank you for being here. Some very wise words from Denzel. Thank you.
Thank you.
As an African Indian, I was looking forward to seeing you, Antoine, in Kenya 2 years ago. Unfortunately, I don't think you could make it at that time.
I was filming.
But as African Americans and the African film business, we need people like yourselves to support us in Africa. I know that President Jonathan Goodluck in Nigeria, obviously Nigeria, Nollywood is a huge industry, but the quality of films that they bring out are not great. And I know that he personally, I think, financed, and I can't remember who it was, out of New York to do a film in New York with an African-American actor. And for me, I'm looking to see how we can bring some of this talent, like yourselves, to Kenya. That's where I'm from. To see how we can make a film in Kenya and bring Africa over here. And I think that's the only way we can do it. I mean, we've got some amazing talent, and there was a film that was nominated for the Oscars.
Do you do like a film festival?
Oh yes, we have the
do?
Kenya Film Festival. And,
You haven't invited me.
You're invited. And then you will be in Nairobi, not Toronto.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'd love to hear whether there is any possibility of doing that. I mean, we can't pay the fees and the all the talent. I'd love to have something where we can come back and bring someone like yourselves to Kenya and see how we can do something for the African film industry. Thank you.
Okay, we got time for one more.
Who has the mic? Who has the mic though?
Who is?
Oh, right
Here
here.
we go.
Okay, go ahead. Stand up. Stand up.
I have a slightly fractured foot, but okay.
Oh, you got a fractured what?
Fractured foot.
Oh, well, then sit down.
Okay. Thank you. My question is for Antoine. Obviously, you have a great working relationship with Denzel. Who are some other actors that you're looking forward to working with in the future?
You know, it's hard to say. There's a lot of talented actors that I would look forward to work. Viola Davis, You know, would love to work with Viola Davis. You know, I think Fassbender's a fantastic actor.
Perhaps
not going-
Lupita Nyong'o?
Of course. Yeah, of course. Yeah, actually, I spoke with her about doing Southpaw, film I just did. She's doing Tarzan or some movie. But you know, I mean, there's a group of them that I would love to work with, and sometimes it depends on the material. You know, like with Jake Gyllenhaal. You know, I like Jake. I always like Jake. I just worked with him. I met Jake years ago, and there was something about him I just found interesting. Something about him. So just working with him, I found him to be really talented and interesting, and he's grown up, and he's like, you know, got a lot of power. So sometimes there's people they're not famous, the big names, that the directors, we meet them and we see them, and there's something about them, you see some of their other work and you want to work with them. You know, they're not all big names. So.
Great, thank you so much.
You got the mic? Oh, who's got the mic?
One more.
Oh.
Norman Curtis. Where do you get that name from? Who's Norman Curtis? Really, who's Norman Curtis?
I'm afraid, Judge.
Maybe you know who Norman Curtis is.
All right, I'll tell the truth. I am Norman Curtis. How did you know? I had go ahead. Oh, okay.
And why do you find real people so fascinating?
I don't. Those scripts came to me. I wasn't looking for that. I did. Who have I done? Stephen Biko. I'm gonna tell Richard Attenborough no. The Hurricane was a great story, and I forgot how that happened. I wasn't looking for it. The script came to me. I guess Norman came to me. What else? Real people. Who? That's not a real guy. Who? I can't. Oh, Malcolm X. Oh, that guy. Actually, I did a play off Broadway in 1981 called "When the Chickens Came Home to Roost," and I knew I found out doing that play we had great success, and I found out I could play Malcolm X. So early on, Spike and I started talking about that. That's how I met him, I think. So I knew, because that's a lot to bite down on, and I knew, okay, I can do that. But I didn't really go looking for that either. So there's nobody. I've been asked a couple of times to play some other people. I'm like, I can't be everybody. So I've turned some of those kind of roles down.
Well, I want to encourage everyone. We have.
Pauletta. Oh! Wait, now I got another shameless plug. My publicist reminded me. My wife. There you go. That's right. My wife, who actually was in Toronto, I won't say how many years ago because she's only 39. She did a show here called the All Night Strut at the Royal York. Yep. Get out of here. You don't remember.
I remember.
You remember?
I'm old.
Okay. And she's coming back up here. Did you know that, young lady, understudy? Okay, yeah, she'll be here next Sunday. I don't know where. It's a church. Somebody knows? What time? What time? 7:30. She's singing with her band. She's the kids are grown. My wife's a great singer, Broadway star before me, made the money before I did. child prodigy, Van Clybern competitor at 9 years old. And she's put all of that down to raise our children. Yeah, she's done a great job. We got 4 beautiful children, and you know, she did a great job. Well, Dad was off working. She did the heavy lifting. So she's back working, and she's singing at that Church of the Trinity next Sunday, the 12th. Friday. The 12th. Friday the 12th. So I want all of you there. Tell your friends.
So please attend the Church of Trinity next.
I'll be out front.
Friday the 12th, taking the
Programs.
Also, of course, see The Equalizer on September 26th when it opens nationwide. I want to thank you, both Denzel and Antoine. Thank you so much.